So we're live now. I just did a video in Spanish for all my Spanish speakers out there that were requesting a video. You got a Spanish video on personal growth and development, okay? It's a little bit sunny out here. I'm back in my house in Spain. I literally have 4 cameras, all right? Anywhere I go, these cameras come with me, okay? If I'm in Texas, Chicago, London, doesn't matter. These cameras come with me. And I'm literally behind my house that I totally just like redid the whole house, heated floors. This is Marbella, guys. This is Spain right here. Microclimate. The house is paid. Got the Rolex. Got the Ferrari. Got the Tesla. No pollution. Um, I had the G wagon. A lot of people were like, "Man, why'd you get rid of the G wagon? That was a badass truck." It's all right. I got the Tesla. I wanted to try out the Tesla. If you ever come to Spain, get yourself this water right here. Lancaron. Lancarion. Water from the Sierra Nevada. Very delicious. And what I want to talk to you guys today about is being positive and making $1 million look small. What does it take? It takes faith. It takes persistence. It takes belief. It takes writing down notes. It takes thinking outside the box, meaning that you can't use your logical mind. You can't think logically. It's going to take guts, all right? And you're going to need those guts because you're going to be tested. And I was talking in Spanish about Thomas Edison, how he was being tested when he created the incandescent light bulb. And they say he went through 10,000 failures. Now, out of one of those failures, he figured out what the frequency was, and that's why we got the radio, what we know as a radio. Now, what are the 2 books that I would encourage you guys to read is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill and The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. The cover is dark, so let me just show you guys. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. So we're literally live on Facebook, on Instagram, on our crypto life school channel and our wealth mindset group channel. And the reason I started Wealth Mindset Group was because I wanted to create what Napoleon Hill calls a mastermind, which you can find in this book, The Power of the Mastermind. Okay? The Power of the Mastermind. Now, if you ever guys see the Godfather, the heads of the 5 families, okay? All the heads are coming together and they're getting creative. This is people that have a net worth of over $1 million, okay, that are part of Wealth Mindset Group. And we have people that have made millions of dollars that are a part of my group. And if you never done that, then I would encourage you to watch these videos, to study our material, Bob Proctor's material, Napoleon Hill's material. Watch my YouTube channel, Wealth Mindset Group. Go to our other YouTube channel, Crypto Life School. Okay? Now I'm out here enjoying my life. My house is paid. I'm out here in Marbella, Spain. And this is what success looks like. This is what wealth looks like. Wealth is not here one day and gone the next. Wealth is permanent. Why? Because like my mentor Bob Proctor says, once you get this, you can show anybody this. And then you can replicate that. You can make them wealthy. Just like I did when I helped people in my family and family members and friends get wealthy when they were scared to jump into the flames and I was already there. Yeah, I've been scarred up. Yeah, I've been in the flames. Yeah, I've been, you know, tested, right? But it's that test that makes the difference in your life. And a lot of people don't understand what energy is. They don't understand that you have this aura around your body. My mentor Bob Proctor, I remember him always saying, Late in 1930, in the 30s, there was a photographer named Semyon Kernlin, a Russian photographer that perfected a form of photography where you could take a picture and you could actually see the energy leaving someone's body. Now, this energy is a creative energy. You can create things. That's why my mentor wrote a book called Thoughts Become Things. Bob Proctor wrote a book called Thoughts Are Things. Why? Because your thoughts become your reality. And you need to cast the spell, the right spell, not the spell of being needy, of, oh, I need to buy a car or I need to buy a house. Instead, say, you have a house, you have a car. And when people tell me that, they say, well, Ross, where's my car? I don't have one yet. It's not here in the physical world, it's in your imagination. Everything that was created in the physical world was a representation of someone's imagination. That's why the Mona Lisa is not the original picture. The original left when Leonardo died, Leonardo da Vinci. That was the original copy, was in his mind. So everything we see out here except the trees and the water is a representation of an image. Now you are an image maker. You are here to create things, but you've been programmed. That's what people don't understand about money. People don't understand about having a 9 to 5 working. You've been programmed to make the money you make. You've been programmed to work where you work. You've been programmed to think logically and assume and analyze your outside world and say, this is not possible for me. I can't do this. But we're going through a paradigm shift where everybody's waking up to this information, and people, because of YouTube and open media, people are starting to say, hey, you know what? I could be like Bill Gates. I could be like, Warren Buffett. I could figure this out. How do you figure it out? By changing the paradigm. That's why my mentor, Bob Proctor, did a seminar called The Paradigm Shift, because you have to change the paradigm. A paradigm is a multitude of habits that are fixed in your subconscious mind. Habits that you were brought up with. That's why James Allen in the book, As a Man Thinketh, he says environment is more important than heredity. So, you have welfare recipients, 4th, 5th generation, because all they've seen was poverty. But what you have to do is you have to create a shift, and you have to break free from what is normal, because nothing is normal. Nothing is as it seems. And what you have to do is you have to make a big number look small. If you never did it, 1 million looks small. I remember talking to my sister. We were sitting there having lunch, and she's like, Ross, how did you start a business? Why do I work for you? When literally 2 years ago, she told me it would never work. Stay at the company you're at. It's not going to work. Don't quit. You're not going to find another job. And there she is working for me. I literally told her, what do you want? She said, I want to make $100,000 a year. She worked as a manager for a bank before that. So that's what her paradigm was. And I say, you're not going to make $100,000 a year. You're going to make $100,000 a month. She wrote that down. Now, if you guys ask me, did it happen? Yes, it happened a few years later. Because anything you write down is like the beginning of the manifestation process. When you want to manifest and create the life that you want, you have to write it down. Now, I can't tell you how it works. All I can tell you is it works, because I'm not a scientist. If you sit there and tell me, Ross, how do fruit and trees grow from the ground when there's dirt and the dirt isn't alive? There's nothing there. It's just dirt. Well, maybe the sun hits it. Maybe water does something to the ground, to the seed, right? But I can't explain to you how the law of attraction, how these things manifest. But I could tell you this. In this book by Wallace Wattles, he talks about the 7th law, because there's 7 universal principles. The 7th law, he talks about the law of gender, that every seed has an incubation and gestation period. And when you write it down, you're putting time, just like the sand that runs, and the time sand, right? Your time is now working for you, not against you. Now, when you write it down, you have to put a date. You have to put when you're going to receive it. I remember I was in California. I said this in Spanish. I remember my mentor being on stage and he said, "You don't need to know how. You don't need to know how it's going to happen. You don't need to know how. All you need to know is that it already happened," which doesn't make any sense because when we're dealing with quantum physics and everything like that, all realities exist or can exist. You have to tap into the frequency. You have to tap into the reality. And that's what the law of gender talks about is when you plant the seed, there's going to be a day when that seed sprouts, when that becomes a reality. And I tested this twice and it worked twice. Sometimes it happens on the day. Sometimes it happens a little before, a little bit after. I tested this where I wrote down I wanted to make $1.75 million by January 1st, 2017. And I did that at my company, the Loan Modification Clinic. Then I stopped giving it that energy. I wanted something else. I was growing. So I said, you know, I don't want to work on Saturday and Sunday. I want to travel. I want to experience what life is truly about. Time, money, and freedom. Everything that we preach as consultants. And now I live in Spain. My house is paid. I wake up when I want. I work when I want. I travel. I just came back from the United States. I'm going to be back in the United States in a few weeks. That's how this stuff works. It's called the law of gender. So you got 7 universal principles. The first principle is the transmutation of energy. Energy just is. It's neither created nor destroyed. It's the cause and effect of itself. It's 100% evenly present in all places at all times. With this energy, you can create things in your mind, not your brain. Your brain is something physical. Your mind is an activity. No one's ever seen the mind. When you create this picture, you send it to your subconscious mind. And then it creates the reality that you're looking for. The reality wasn't already there, because if it was, you wouldn't be studying this material. So stop thinking about how. So we got people right here in the Crypto Life School. We got people that are traveling the world through Crypto Life School. Now that is a logical approach on how to get rich, but you got to find the right crypto. But what I would tell you is, rich is an internal thing. My mentor passed away, Bob Proctor, but he would always say you can't paint the kitchen by painting the outside of the house. You got to start with you. You got to start with the kitchen. Work on you. When you work on you, everything else will change. But people are out here looking at the Rolex, looking at the lifestyle. You know, I never wear the Rolex. I never wear the watch. You know, I just walk around like a normal human being. You know, yes, it is nice to have nice things, right? I have a beautiful house that's paid for. A lot of people come here on vacation trying to flex. I flex every day, guys. You work on you. Forget about everybody else. Stop trying to make other people happy. I don't want to swear here. Stop trying to make other people happy. Trust me, it's not going to work. Because no one is always going to be always happy. That's why we work on this every single day. This is a lifestyle. This is every day. Wealth is not rich. Rich is one day here, gone the next. Wealth is transferable. Through my mentor, Bob Proctor, his teachings, Napoleon Hill, you know, Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Troward, Genevieve Behrend, James Allen, all these people. It's transferable. So how does it work? How does it work? I could tell you, the longer you've been studying this, the better you're going to be at manifesting, at having more money. Because when people tell you their problems, and every time you call them, they're telling you the same thing, I don't have. They're always going to be in that state, in that, on that level, on that frequency. I don't have, I don't have, I don't have. And just stays like that. You start thinking as if you already have it. Start acting as if. There's a book, my mentor Bob Proctor always talked about it. uh, by not an actress, a lady that taught, Stella Adler, which actually has a acting studio in Hollywood, California. I actually went inside the acting studio. Stella Adler, and people like uh, the actors Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, the guy that played Bugsy, Warren Beatty, people like that, real good actors that went through her style of acting. It's called method acting. Act like the star you wish to become. If you see the end in your mind, stop thinking about how the end is going to happen in your life. Just act as if you want to wear a suit and a tie, if you want to drive around in a nice car, like let's just say, for instance, I'll give you an example how this happened in my life. I have a red Ferrari. Now I lived in Chicago. I would wake up every morning. I would think about a red Ferrari in my driveway. I was thinking about red Ferrari, red Ferrari, red Ferrari, red Ferrari. Because I remember when I was like 21, I was doing mortgages, learning the mortgage industry, and I wanted to have a nice car, a fast car, Ferrari, right? And I think the reason that I wanted the red Ferrari was because of the red Ferrari Enzo, which the Enzo is worth like 1.5 or 3.5 million. Um, and I liked the way that the Enzo looked. So I remember sitting on my desk and I would have the red Ferrari Enzo on the wall. I said, I want to have this car. I don't have the Ferrari red Enzo, um, but I just wanted a red Ferrari, and I would always thinking about it. And guess what? I have a red Ferrari, a California. It's not in Chicago. It's in Spain. But one of the things that I did was I paid off my house. I paid off my car. And I have time, money, and freedom. I diversified. So you have to have multiple sources of income. And that's what we teach, is how to create multiple sources of income. Now, I've been studying the laws of success, the law of attraction for over 10 years. And what I could tell you is that it starts in your mind, which you can't touch, and it's a process, and it's repetition, it's faith, it's belief, it's constantly thinking about the same thing, desire, okay? And it has to be an obsession, an obsessional desire where you're constantly thinking about it. The bad thing is that people always think about what they don't want and they stay there. That's what personal growth and development helps you snap out of it. Because a paradigm, which is in your subconscious, is a program. And you've been programmed to make the money you make and to live the way you live. And that's why it's important to see videos like this, to break free from the paradigm, to make you feel and think this is possible. So stay there. Go to the end part of your life, right? And how does the end look like? What kind of house do you want? What kind of car do you want? How much is in your bank account? It's funny because like I carry a gold card, and I always wanted to have $10 million cash in my savings account. So I always carry that, and I always read it as often as I can. And in the beginning, 2011, when I started studying this, 2010, 2011, I would watch Napoleon Hill on YouTube. That's how I got a hold of this information. And Bob Proctor, I had seen him in the movie The Secret a little bit before that, like in 2008, 2009. And I remember him as the person with the white hair, the older gentleman from the movie The Secret. And I was like, man, he looks like a doctor. Listening to Napoleon Hill and hearing him talk about the master key, the master key, the master key. And I'm like, he's like, in these lessons, you're going to find out what the master key is, and your life is going to change, because you've been born with the ability to take possession of your own mind and to think whatever you want and to have anything you want. And I remember him saying it, you can have it in abundance. Ask for something that you want. Be modest, but don't be too modest. So what do you want? What's holding you back? Is it yourself? Is it other people? Is it your belief system? Work on those things. That's what personal growth development is about. That's what I'm about. This is what I do. You hear the birds, guys? This is paradise. But just because I'm here, if you were here and if you didn't study what I study, you still would think the same. So you have to work on you. This is about growth. There's a law that says if you're not creating, you're disintegrating. If you're not growing, you're dying. So the spirit is for expansion and fuller expression, never for hard time, never for disintegration. So you're here to grow. You're here to experience something that you haven't experienced it before. And what Napoleon Hill says is how are you going to experience it if you're broke? That's what Wallace Waddle says as well. How are you going to experience what life has to offer if you think poverty conscience? If you think, well, let me work hard. Let me stay here at the job. Let me work more hours. That's not going to get you to the next level. I made more money in the coronavirus pandemic than I ever did in my whole entire life and my whole entire family's life. I would have to work over 4,000 years to make the money that I make, and I only have 90, 100 years. How is that? How is this even possible? That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Ask for something. Don't be too modest. Don't aim high in life, as Napoleon Hill would say. Go for the big goals. Go for the 100 million. I was playing a small game. That's what my mentor Bob Proctor would say. He did a seminar called how to make your annual salary into your monthly salary. That's what I had told my sister. My sister was like working for me. She's like, why do you always carry this book around? I say, there's a secret in this book. And if you do what the book is telling you, what Napoleon Hill is saying, if you take a chance, what do you have to lose, right? You're already broke, right? You take a chance. What happens? What would happen? How would you feel if it does become reality? And that's what I did. I just stretched it. I stayed in the game over 10 years, baby. Over 10 years. Thinking positive, personal growth. And everybody was like, man, this guy's got it all wrong. He's living in UK. He's broke. But everything changed. I got a house paid for. Millions of dollars. Traveling the world. The airplane's a taxi for me now. I could drive anywhere I want. Fly anywhere I want. And what happened to those people? Where are they? The people that said, this is impossible. You can't do it. They're no longer around. They're just here a little time and then they're gone. So you have to create the picture in your mind and stay there. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about you. What matters is what you really, really want. And what are you willing to give to get what you want? How far are you willing to test yourself before you quit? That's why I like David Goggins, the military guy. The guy went through Navy SEAL training 3 times, broke his ankle, almost died from cardiac arrest running for days because they told him that it wasn't possible for a guy that weighed 300 pounds to enter into Navy SEAL training. But this guy did it. Those are the type of people that inspire me. Those are the type of people that changed my life. Thomas Edison, 10,000 failures just to create the light bulb when everyone said it's not possible. Henry Ford created a V8 engine and everyone said, no, the V6, there is no V8. I don't know who created the cell phone, but look what happened. You could see me now. We think on frequencies. The cell phone is not connected to a landline. If you would have told someone over 100 years ago that you would have a cell phone and there was going to be wireless communication, just like the Wright brothers, they would have thought you were possessed. They would have thought that you had a demon, an exorcist, right? Well, guess what? That's possible now. So when you look at movies like Star Trek and Star Wars, we're literally in that movie. But you don't see that. You still think program, paradigm. No, it's not possible. Cars can't fly. No, it's not possible. I can't be rich. No, it's not possible. I have to go to work. No, it's not possible. I can't afford to take my wife on a vacation. I can't afford to buy a car. I have to take the bus. I have to walk. And you live like that. Think from the end, right? Think abundance. Stop thinking poverty conscious. Stop hurting yourself. Think abundance. Think how much is the amount of money you need to make to live the life that you want to live. How much is enough? 100 million? A billion? 2 million? 200,000? 2,000? Because it's literally whatever you want. I used to think, no, there's a limit. There's a limit. I'll ask for 1.75 million. Why? Because I was in the process of growth. I was in the process of growth. You know what the difference between a billionaire and a millionaire is? The difference between a billionaire and a millionaire is a billionaire helps people make millions of dollars. He helps people become millionaires. A millionaire is just somebody that wants to make a couple million and that's it, right? That's the difference between having a billionaire mindset and a millionaire mindset. A billion has 3 commas. Why do I know that? Because that's what I'm entertaining right now. These are the type of numbers that I deal with. What type of numbers do you deal with? Do you have a comma? A couple zeros? Do you want to stretch yourself? Do you want to add another comma to your bank account? Contact me. Now, I wouldn't even say contact me. Watch the same video. Watch this video 1,000 times like I did with Jack Canary and Bob Proctor when they were talking about how Jack Canfield created Chicken Soup for the Soul, a book that made millions of dollars, and Jack Canfield actually ended up in the Guinness Book of World Records for most books ever sold. But how did it happen? You don't need to know how. It just happened. But he had an idea how it was going to happen. So you have to know what, when, why, where. You have to have a little bit of how it's going to happen, but you don't need to know how. The how is going to show it's going to present itself to you. The how is going to show up. People will show up to participate in your goal because the energy is intelligent and you can't see the energy. There was a photographer, Samyan Kernley. He perfected a form of photography where you could actually see someone's body and you could see the energy glowing and leaving someone's body. This energy is intelligent. And when you create a thought through your mind, not your brain is something physical, your mind, your thought starts attracting those things in your life. The type of car, the type of house. Because money, it was an idea. It's energy. And the house, the car is on a frequency. But when you're operating on a low vibration, why are you operating on a low vibration? Because you listen to other people, the program that you have, your parents never made that type of money. I remember telling my dad, I make $10,000 a week. He's like, that's not possible. Stop lying to yourself. Snap out of it. You're going crazy, son. Look at me. I work construction. The most I've ever made is 60,000. How's it possible for you to make 10,000 a week? Now, I don't blame my dad because he just didn't know because no one showed him this information. His dad was a farmer and had cows. No one showed him this information. I learned this information because I was basically at zero. I lost everything in 2010. Went to college, have a degree in finance and investment management. Never used my degree. I used what I applied in the mortgage industry to make money. My degree I've never used. So you don't need a degree to be wealthy. The people that tell you, your parents, go to school, son, daughter, go to school. You're going to make money. You just need to go to school. Keep going to school. Get the bachelor's degree. Get more in debt, right? Get the master's degree. Rack up the debt. Or maybe they paid the debt for you, right? You ever used your degree? Now you used your degree, but you haven't changed your mind because you haven't studied personal growth and development. So guess what? You don't care. You just work. You don't take the vacation. Even if you did, you don't have enough money to stay on a vacation for a month or two because you got to go back to work. Otherwise, they're going to fire you. What do you want? Why do you want it? When do you want it by? Write it down, sign it, and put what you're willing to give to get what you want. I'm willing to help other people understand this information. And guess what? There will be a day when you have it. I remember sitting down at Starbucks and looking at my notebook saying I was going to make $50 million in cryptocurrency. I didn't know which crypto. Okay. And guess what? I looked at my crypto portfolio and I had $120 million when Bitcoin was at 67,000. Right now it's about 20,000 per Bitcoin. But it wasn't Bitcoin that made me a lot of money. And I'm not going to tell you which one. But I'll just tell you. It was Hex. Hex.com. Hex.com. But I also made money with Shiba. So when people say, Ross, you're just lucky you just bought the right coin. No, it wasn't the right coin. It was studying Napoleon Hill, Bob Proctor, Earl Nightingale, Thomas Troward, Genevieve B. Rand, James Allen, all these people, books, Joseph Murphy, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. So I'm here to tell you that I'm a product of what they talk about, what I talk about. So I could tell you, yeah, let's go in a drive in my Ferrari, or come to my house in Spain, right? Let's go play golf. I'm a member of the golf course, the golf club. I got the locker with my name. Okay? It's whatever you want. Don't put yourself down. Don't let others put you down. Grow. Stop giving a shit about what other people say or think about you. Doesn't matter what other people think about you. What matters is what you're thinking about, because there's a polarity. You're either thinking positive or negative, and the energy doesn't know the difference. The energy doesn't have a polarity. You give it the right or the left or the right, the positive or the negative or the positive, because everything you're thinking about is what you become. What you say is what happens. So change what you say. If you don't have a car, start saying you have a car. If you don't have a house, start saying you have a house. Even if you don't have it, and write it down in a book. And there will be a day you have it. Grow some balls, right? Give it time. Don't quit. So that's my message for you guys today. Share the video. I'm out here live in Spain, right here in back of my house, Marbella. There's a Concha, the mountain right there. There's the mountain right there. And this is work in progress, guys. That's why I'm busy, because I rehab my whole house. Heated floors throughout the whole house. I'm not going to say everybody, but people are like, well, it's not possible. Don't do it. You're wasting your time. Just do something else. Well, guess what? I didn't waste my time, because my property appreciated in value. So don't waste any time. Keep studying this stuff. Don't give up. And make a big number look small. This is Ross Garcia, live from Spain. Peace out. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy your day.